The one of the big things that the big shift that happened in the 90s is when the shockwave in the music industry, when Clive David gets ousted from Arista, and he goes to form J Records. And that's where we saw out, and at that time we didn't realize how what J Records was gonna to how it's gonna be. And it looked as if he was able to take a handful of people with him to start this new record from scratch. um I noticed that you joined a J Records, which was a big risk. I mean, did you think at that point in time, like, wow, I'm going to take a risk?
Well, I made the choice to stay with L.A. Reid.
Oh, Arista.
And I was going to stay at Arista. It was my choice. I did not pick to choose to leave with
Clive.
Peter Ridge and Clive. I decided I would stay. And when I decided to stay, L.A. Reid sat me down and he said, Angie, I have Usher, I have TLC, I have this one, I have that one. He gave list of artists that have to come out before you. Wow. And I feel like I owe it to them because they've been waiting all this time. So even if you stayed, and I just thought that was a risk because I was hot right now. No More Rain was a hit. So why do I gotta wait a year or two till everybody else comes out before you do a follow-up single on a record that's already winning? Yeah. And at that point, I felt like he was trying to tell me in so many ways, you would not be a priority here.
Wow.
And so when Clive and them told everybody I was coming with them, it was because Peter Ridge had signed me and he wanted to make good on his signings. Angie's coming with me. So he took me right over there.
Yeah.
And I mean, so with that, with that happening, I wasn't mad because I was grateful that he didn't get angry because I didn't choose him to begin with. But once again, I became like the school teacher at high school. Everybody else was in high school and I was in college there in my mind.
Yeah. I mean, he came out with Mahogany Soul, and and as I said, J Records became because he was yourself, Alicia Keys, he had Luther, Carlos Santana. I mean, he took a number of people, and almost everything seemed to turn to gold or platinum on J Records.
Right.
Yeah. Did you feel that there was a different thing that were they putting more energy in trying to make the label successful? That's where you.
Well, I just think because they were artists that have not been released, they had not lost any money on those artists, so it was easier to invest in artists that didn't have a debt. I think I went into it and I had a debt already. So why would we invest more money into the debt before we, got any money from the new, stuff? And so I began to be a person of interest to make sure I coached some of them to greatness at the label. But of course, that was almost like saying, we'll get around to you when we get there.
Yeah. And I think there's parts of the industry that we as fans weren't aware of during that time. We were just so caught up in the music, but I think subsequently we're hearing a lot of the stories and the challenges that, and especially during lockdown, things like you mentioned about publishing and points, things that we would never have known because we were so mesmerized by videos that we did not realize behind the scenes how challenging things were for the artists.
Yes, there's so much going on with regards to the industry in terms of how they move and some of the decisions that they make. So for me, it's been one of those things where I've seen quite a bit and I've made, I think, healthy choices for myself.
Yeah. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for being part of the Halftime Chat community. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. But most importantly, why don't you consider being a member? That's a way of supporting the channel, but also getting a lot of videos ahead of time, a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and some exclusive content that doesn't get shared. But anyway, thanks for watching and thanks for being part of Halftime Chat.